All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Buckeye Banter. Today we are having our uh, Big Ten Championship preview. We're going to talk a little bit about the matchup, and we're going to talk about the possibility for college football playoff and a lot of the rumors that are going on with regard to that. So let's get right into this episode of Buckeye Banter. Welcome to Buckeye Banter Sports Studio OH. All right. So, yeah, big matchup. No Northwestern. You know, looking at this game, we should win. We should win handily. Um, without getting too much into the college football playoff ramifications yet, we probably need to win handily so that we can really silence some of these critics. Um, there's a lot of them, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Looking at the eye test on Northwestern, offensively, they don't do much. Um, they're not one player dominant. They're what Northwestern usually is. You know, you got a lot of decent players, no stars on offense. Defense is another story. And Pat Fitzgerald has always coached well. Um, so our offense is going to need to go out and establish itself. That line is just going to need to really do well. They've got two guys on the defensive side of the ball that are um, conference award winners. So you've got Patty Fisher, I believe his name is, on the defensive line, who was the or linebacker. Sorry, Patty Fisher is the linebacker, and he won the Butkus Fitzgerald linebacker of the year. And then you've got the freshman of the year, the Thompson Randall L. freshman of the year, in Brandon Joseph, who's a cornerback for them. So we've got two pretty key position players over there winning awards in Northwestern that we got to be on the lookout for. Now we also have our own winner of the Tatum Woodson Defensive Back of the Year, Sean Wade, locking down their wide receivers. So that's good. We've got some other guys who were in the All Big Ten defensive side of the team. We got Pete Werner, um, Baron Browning. I'm trying to see who else was listed there. Yeah, I think that was about it. Tommy Togai, yeah, Tommy Togai, yep. So, we've got our studs on that side of the ball as well, obviously. But I think if you look at what do we have to potentially worry about from Northwestern, it's going to be how does their defense line up against us, and are we able to protect the quarterback, and are we able to establish the run game a little bit so that they can get that passing game established, because that's really what this team has been about. It's mostly been get enough of a protection to get the passing game established. Then you can start hitting them with those runs that cost them. Um, and defensively, we're just gonna need to show up big, which I think we will. So I think we win. I think we win handily, and I think we need to, because if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, the media is out to get us. And I have to say, if the CFB decides not to include Ohio State in this in the playoffs this year, if we win, and especially if we win handily, my first finger to be pointed goes to the conference. I think the CFP has lots of issues and lots of problems, and they certainly get some blame for not choosing Ohio State this year. But Kevin Wilson, he screwed this thing up from the beginning. He misread the cards. He thought that he was going to show everybody that he was the new big man on campus. He was going to lead the way. He was going to do this, thing, and everyone would jump on. He was wrong. The ACC, the SEC, Big 12, and most of the Group of Five started playing football, and they've all played at least 8 a lot of them played 10, 11 games. So, do I hear them and do I agree with them? I mean, I understand their argument. And let's face it, there's a lot of truth in the fact that if you play 5 or 6 games, um, the likelihood of losing when you're elite goes down than if you play 11. Every year we lose one of those games in November. When we lose, I should say, we almost always lose a game in November to somebody we shouldn't have lost to. So I hear what they're saying. I don't think this team would have done that. And I hate to see this team that's so good punished for past mistakes. I hope they don't do it. But I understand the argument. I do. And my finger pointing will go to Kevin Wilson. And to me, the only way that he maybe gets fired, even though he deserves to be fired for everything he did this year, was his handling of this was absolutely terrible. You don't take on the role that he took on and make big, bold moves like this without knowing what you're doing. And he obviously didn't. And the rules that the Big Ten put in place that are way stricter than a lot of the other conferences also hurt this conference this year. So I think if Ohio State gets left out, it's the only way this conference maybe gets rid of them, because that would say boldly, you screwed up so bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll be upset with the CFP if this happens, because this team, like I said, doesn't deserve to be punished for the conference making a bad decision. Justin Fields wanted to be out there playing. He fought and fought to get him back on the field. And so I hope that doesn't happen. But I think we have to prepare ourselves for the possibility. I have seen a lot of media coming out and trying to say this, and we all know that the media loves to tell their narrative so that they can back the story that they're planning on doing. So, hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, it definitely makes you wonder if they're not telling this story over and over again for a reason. What I don't understand and what will really disappoint me more is if they leave us out and include, depending on who wins this weekend, A&M, Florida. Now, if they leave us out and include Cincinnati and Coastal Carolina or something like that because they were undefeated and played a long schedule, I'll have a little more sympathy for that. But A&M lost to Bama in their opportunity and got beat pretty handily by Bama. So don't tell me A&M deserves to be in this over a lot of other teams. If there were 8 teams getting in, I could see maybe an argument for A&M. But literally, they got really beat badly by Alabama. Florida's lost twice, and they got beat by a not good LSU team. I don't care if LSU won the championship last year. That's not this team. This team is not good. All you SEC lovers out there, if you want to argue the grind of the SEC, I'm sorry. You can make your argument all you want. The only team who's had success outside of one fluke season with our former quarterback was LSU. No one else has made it even into the tournament, and they've not had any wins. So Georgia got in and lost. Alabama's had their successes, but in years when they have success, they have success. In years when they don't, they don't. They're basically in championship years they're very good, and in non-championship years their average is whatever. So you can argue all you want about the grind of the SEC, but the SEC has its walkovers just like every conference. The ACC even worse. And when we don't have crossover games and interconference games, it's really hard to know this year which is what. So, all that to say is we have to be prepared for who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be a crazy weekend. I hope that we really just, for argument's sake, just really put it to Northwestern, eliminate any doubt that we get included. I'm going to say we win. I'm going to say we win 55-21 because, we always end up giving up some big plays to these little pick and pop kind of passes and things. So I think 55-21, and hopefully that's enough. We get in. I think Bama wins their championship game. I think Cincinnati wins. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Clemson, Notre Dame, that's a toss-up for me. I kind of hope Notre Dame wins just so that we can take Clemson out of the picture. But there's a part of me that really wants to play Clemson and show everybody what we deserve it if we are. I'd love for us to not have anyone out there saying, "Oh, Clemson was still better" just because they didn't make the playoffs and we didn't get to play them. So after last year's game, when we all know that some calls really made that game not as it took away from the game. I don't want to say it changed it, but it took away. I think it could have changed it, and it certainly, these stupid calls that have been coming for years now with these ejections are just harsh, and I hate to see that. So I hope that we have a good weekend with some good games, and go Bucks. So with that, let's get into just a couple little other notes. We are giving away a 30-day guest pass to theathletic.com. We're going to announce that winner on 12/28, so not too long from now. If you want to enter, this is what you got to do. You got to like the Buckeye Banter Facebook page. If you've already done these things, that's fine. Just do the rest of them. Follow Buckeye Banter on Instagram. Subscribe to Buckeye Banter on YouTube. Share at least one of our videos with a friend. Invite 5 people to like or follow Buckeye Banter on Facebook. And then message me to confirm your entry. So if you're not on Instagram or something, let me know. Mostly I just want you to help us get the word out about the podcast. So if you can't do all the things for some reason, shoot me a message. Let me know you've done the majority of them, and we'll get you in the drawing. Like I said, this is mostly just about having a little fun and getting a chance to spread the word about what I'm doing. Hopefully, get some more people to see and enjoy. Hopefully, what I'm sharing about. So with that, let's just quickly talk about the Cavs. Last night, they had another matchup with the Knicks now. One more preseason game coming. I watched a little bit of the game. I think later on, Bickerstaff was trying to get a lot of guys minutes who probably won't even make the team, maybe. And I think the Knicks came back and won that game. But the Cavs looked good through 3 quarters. They looked very good. Again, we're talking about a matchup against the Knicks, so I don't have, not a lot there to gauge and judge. But I think that Bickerstaff is getting through to the players. I think that we're going to see a little more competitiveness out of this young group. And Drummond is really looking good. I'm impressed with Drummond's attitude and his play. So I'm going to be curious to see when it comes down to actual season how this plays out. Again, don't have super high hopes, but I think it could be interesting. And maybe they're gonna get up kind of right on that bubble of playoff contention. We'll see. Anyways, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate all that. You guys enjoy this weekend, and I'll be getting out a Browns preview episode soon. I do want to mention briefly on the Browns. I just shared it on the Facebook page. Freddie Kitchens is going to be calling plays. Couldn't get any sweeter than that, right? Here we get Freddie to get a chance to get back at us, which he's going to want, and our guys to get a chance to really just show up on defense against Freddie. So I said on the Facebook feed, and I agree. I said this because I believe it. I think Freddie is a good play caller. He was a terrible play caller as a head coach, but just when that's all he was doing, he really did a good job for Baker when he was filling that role, which is why he ended up getting the head coaching job. So we'll see. It could be interesting for the Giants. I mean, Garrett is out with COVID, which is why he's getting that temporary gig for 1 weekend. So we'll see, maybe 2 weekends. But yeah, big matchup against the Giants. We need to really win this one, I think, to more or less clinch the playoffs, and we'll see what happens then. But yeah, I'll get into that more in our Browns preview episode in the next couple days. Have a good one.